Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. Our title sponsor for the podcast is Go High Level, also known as GHL. GHL is the first ever all-in-one platform that will give you the tools, support, and resources you need to succeed and crush your marketing goals. Personally, I have used this software since 2020. It's been a game changer for my business and our clients. If you are looking to level up your CRM and marketing game, then this is the platform to use. You can find a link for a free 30-day trial with tons of Builders of Authority bonuses in the show notes, so take advantage of the opportunity to adopt this amazing software and grow your business in the process. Today, I'm joined by someone I've got the chance to get to know over the last year plus. We are both clients inside the WinRate Consulting community. Since I became a coach for WinRate, we've gotten the chance to interact even more. Earlier this year, he also joined our BOA Mastermind, which has been awesome having someone like him in our ecosystem. He's one of the most hardworking individuals that I know and has really leveled up in both life and business over the last year. Watching his journey and knowing what he's doing behind the scenes has been inspiring, to say the least. My guest today is Johnny Buck. He is the owner of Rogue Combat Club and his newly launched construction company, 13 Stripes Construction. Johnny, welcome to the show.
What's going on, man? Dude, that's good intro. That's it. We're done. Thank you for coming, guys. That was awesome, man.
Mic drop.
Yeah. So best podcast I've ever done. Yeah, man, dude, thanks for having me. Been watching you for a while, and just kind of it's cool interacting with you as well with within WinRate and then Builders of Authority as well.
Yeah, man. So tell people a little bit about who Johnny is, kind of your backstory, get you where you're at today, and then we'll dive into all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Just nothing crazy. Both my parents are entrepreneurs from the standpoint of they work for themselves. I was born in Florida, moved to North Carolina when I was 5 years old. My mom owned a hair salon. She ran it for 21 years. She's still working now. My dad had a construction company. I worked with him for basically child labor, but everything from footers to shingles and everything in between. And then, I started wrestling in middle school to stay in shape for football. I was going to be a pro football player at, 5'9", white and slow, 185 pounds.
Yeah.
Started wrestling and, fell in love with it. Wrestled middle school through college. I got recruited to wrestle D1 at the Citadel. Then I got into MMA while I was there. It seemed to be the natural progression from that, from military school to MMA fighter. Had 29 fights, fought in Bellator, fought in the XFC. And during that time, I bought into a gym, MMA gym. So I started doing that. 2013, had a fallout with one of my business partners, and I went out on my own. Still had my Bellator contract, still had fights left. And I started my own business. And I started Rogue Combat Club because, one, I needed to. I had to have a place to train. You're still under contracts with one of the biggest fight companies in the world. But also, I didn't like how anybody was doing anything else. I've done things my way my entire life. To the point where it's ridiculous. My wife can't. She's like, "How do you get away with that?" I don't know, but
that's what makes us entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. And so I started that, and when I retired in 2016, kind of did I'm not doing anything right now for a while. Yep. And just kind of messed around. And then in 2017, I quit my job. I was doing commercial HVAC. I quit my job, and I've been full self-employed ever since. 1099 for sales stuff, 1099 for coaches, but it's been self-employed completely since 2017. From 2017 to so basically 4 years later, 21, I hit the top 1% of the industry in martial arts, and that includes karate, which I think is an adult daycare, or child's daycare. We're an MMA gym. We do Muay Thai. We do Jiu-Jitsu. It's, we have six world titles out of the gym already. So it's not a play day, but we also, the vast majority of our 400 members are your everyday athletes. They want something different. So that's kind of the journey that got me to where I'm at today. And, you know, we're because of the systems I built in the martial arts industry, because of the communication, the sales background, all that, I'm not gonna say I got bored, but I realized, you know, talking with Mike, at WinRate, I was like, I realized I gotta do something else. Like I've without expanding to multiple locations, which I don't want to do, without moving to another city, which I don't want to do, but from a business standpoint, I had to do something. And you know, he goes, well, why don't you look into construction, you know, or HVAC? I'm like, HVAC, I don't like it. I don't like residential.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I could build houses. And it just clicked. So I decided, well, actually before that, I looked at buying a business or partnering with a business, and I learned a lot, dude. Went to a friend of mine. We align a lot morally, like our beliefs and how things should be done. But I move at a lot faster pace than he, like a blistering speed. You know, I want to move 1,000 miles an hour and go. Um, and then looked at buying another construction company. That fell through for personal reasons for on their end. Still good friends with them now, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait on anybody else. I don't want partners. I don't want to talk to anybody else.
Mhm.
So that's what's got me into the construction side. Um, I just posted because we post twice a day, no matter what.
Yeah.
Uh, I was posting about like my first um, project proposal. I wrote, you know, cleaning responsible by the owners and cleaning and painting for this job. And she goes, that doesn't mean like remove construction debris. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like people leave construction stuff? She goes, yeah. I'm like, that's unacceptable. So that's what really, you know, Rogue Combat Club, we do things differently. Like we do it our way. We think outside the box. And I'm going to take the exact same thing to 13 Stripes Construction, where I didn't think you had to put that in a proposal that you clean up your job site. But apparently you do. And also, if you put flooring down, you put quarter round down, just or some sort of trim. So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's interesting. You know, I've been operating at such a high level within my industry for so long, and then working with WinRate and those guys, like that's the standard that I'm used to.
Mhm.
When I go and talk to somebody else, I'm like, oh, that's not how things are done. Well, no, that's how things will be done. So that's kind of what got me here is just outside the box thinking, doing things my way, and it's being stubborn as shit and not negotiating the standard. You know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing the backstory. I really like. I get excited about that because obviously you and I operate on very similar wavelengths, as well as like many people in the WinRate ecosystem. Like we all have very similar values, and we hold the standard at a different level. But I was doing at the time of this recording, I was doing the marketing webinar last night for WinRate, and I was like, man, like my auto glass company, for example, we came into this market in a very competitive market in 2021. We had the leads, like, which was what everybody was trying to get. And everybody thought that like we were kind of a joke when we started, right? Because like we didn't know how to do auto glass repair. Like I didn't know how to do it. The guy I started the company with didn't know how to do it either. But like we started to grow, and then all of a sudden we start to get all the commercial contracts. We start to get people flocking over from Safelite. Like we have a waiting list of people that want to come work for us. And it's because we have the marketing and advertising down, but we do things at a completely different standard. And so all these people, like when you're going into contracting now in your local market, all these people have been doing things the way in which they've done them forever. And so they're so convinced that like it's the right way and that nobody else can like outcompete me. Well, like when you can market and advertise well and you hold a different standard and you change the industry, like there's no going back. So you've done that with the Combat Club, and now you're doing this in construction, which is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's I've done so. I purchased my web domain, so I have that. I've got Go High Level, which is awesome, by the way. Like, dude,
It's
between the
incredible.
training on them and then the like just resources online or people trying to sell their course, you know, you can find anything you need to.
Mhm.
So I'm using that, you know, so I have not even set that up yet, but everything's word of mouth right now.
Yep.
And it's literally just posting on my Facebook about this. And a buddy of mine saw it today. So, you know, I bid a job yesterday during your webinar. I'm like, well, I guess I go bid a job instead, but I'll watch
Yeah.
that replay. But, you know, so I was bidding that job And we were talking, I just, yeah, absolutely, we'll do that. And it's pure word of mouth. Like it's because of the branding, because they know who I am, because they know the quality I put out. And like it drives Mike nuts. I still have an email that says I hate Johnny Buck at gmail.com. I had I
Yeah.
hate Johnny Buck.com for a long time because that was part of the branding. I've inadvertently been building my brand and possibly in the wrong direction for a while. And that's just part of it. But a lot of what it comes down to was I was very not set in my ways, but I just didn't negotiate.
Yeah.
And I got called every name under the sun. It just you don't get it. But what's allowed me to build the group I have is like, no, if this is what I say, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Especially with the construction side, and this is what's really in martial arts is the same too. But honestly, any business,
Mhm.
call your leads.
Yeah.
And don't just call your new leads. Because I did business consulting for martial arts gyms, and I'm calling the new leads. I'm like, how many leads do you have? Well, we had 6 this week. I mean, no. How many phone numbers do you have in your CRM?
Yeah.
2,000. You have 2,000 phone calls to make.
Yep.
It's just part of it. And then, like, when you get a new lead, call them, text them, send them an email. Like, so I'm just taking the same processes that allowed me to grow there over to this other industry. And with what I see and what I had to deal with, I think it's not going to be an easy transition, but it's going to be very rapid.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of goes to what a lot of people don't understand when they like start something new on a brand that they've already built, which is their personal brand, right? Like you and I could both go start pretty much any business and we would have much greater like immediate and long-term success than people that like are just like the best person to ever build a house or do a floor because they haven't branded themselves. And like it takes so much longer when you're like every single job, you need to like crush every part of it to where that customer is just going to go tell like 10 people. And we all know that that just doesn't always happen. But it's the combination of that with posting, with doing the other marketing and advertising, with the networking, with building relationships and doing all those things. So it's like your experience, albeit not in construction, running your own business, combined with your past experience being in construction and knowing and being around the right people, like you've built this foundation that's going to have you on this freaking rocket ship. Just the biggest problem is honestly not problem, but the big obstacle, as you probably know, is like how fast are you going to be able to take it or want to take it?
And that's the big thing is like, and one thing I'm doing, like, I have a problem of going 1,000 miles an hour in the direction that I think I should be going. And all of a sudden, we need to make a 90-degree turn. And
Yeah.
I just go, and people are trying to follow me or going the wrong direction. And but so one thing I'm doing with this from experience is I'm going slower.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have 500 subs I use. I'm going to use 5 or 10 guys.
Mhm.
It's going to be from referrals, from people I know and trust, because to me, the quality matters.
Yep.
Like, and I think where you talked about a minute ago, where there are people who are the best in the industry. Like, oh, that's so and so and so. But like, you don't ever want to be the best kept secret in town. Like that's the key. And, you know, I know some really, really good builders and handyman and painters, but nobody knows they exist.
Yeah.
And it's because they don't use social media. Well, I don't need that. I'm like, cool. I don't need a hammer to build a house. There's other ways to do it, but like, it's going to be a lot faster if we use a hammer or a nail gun. So
Yeah.
I think personal branding, especially with working with you and talking with you, I've seen a lot of really, really impressive balance in the group. And then as well, just like with myself, I think I have multiple bids out right now. I don't have a website up and running. I don't have ads running. So I
Yeah.
told Nate today, I was like, hey man, I'm going to put some tasks up. I need to get my website up and running. I need to get a Go High Level phone number. So my cell phone is on out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. No,
but
it's impressive to see like and I was gonna dive into what you said earlier is you're like, I've been building my brand for a long time. You said something along those lines and I'm paraphrasing, but like maybe it wasn't the right way. So it sounds like you obviously stood for what you believed in and you wanted to do it your way and in your industry and probably in your local market, like did it rub the people the wrong way or like walk us through that? Cause I think a lot of people talk about just growing your business, but like there is and I'm learning this myself, of like when you put your foot in the sand or draw your line in the sand and say, this is who I am and this is who I'm not, you're going to get more of the right people, but you're also going to push people away, which is actually what's needed.
Yeah, so I got really lucky. I met Sean Whalen at an event 2020, I think, in San Francisco. And he goes, speak your truth, tell your truth. And he talks about like not negotiating things and just like tell your story. And because your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth. And there's enough people out there that if they absolutely hate me, they can go receive the same end goal with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I built my brand, and coming from an athletic standpoint, like MMA is basically pro wrestling, like with actual hitting and breaking, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that if people hated me, they wanted to watch me lose.
Mm-hmm.
And if people wanted to watch me lose, that would sell tickets. And if we could sell more tickets, well, guess what I got? More money. And because of the way, and I was like an early adopter of social media. I had no clue what I was doing. I was posting all kinds of dumb shit. But like whatever, like early 2000s, like Facebook, like this is my lunch. Like, like look what I ate,
Yep.
So we're on there a lot. And dude, it was a wild west. You could say whatever you wanted to on there. When you're in your early 20s and high testosterone and just running around violent, that's
Yeah.
not the best thing.
Yeah.
But so I went out there. I was my last MMA fight in 2016. I fought in a local card. I finished my Bellator contract. I had options. They could have picked me back up if they wanted to. I'm glad they didn't. But I made more money on a local regional show than anybody on the UFC undercard the same night. And it wasn't because I was better or any of that. It's because I was able to leverage my personal brand regionally and even nationally, like Ammo to Go, that's still around. I had On It sponsorships, Muscle Farm. I actually have that. I just found this. It's like you can't buy these. It's a Muscle Farm. Like I don't know if Muscle Farm's still around, um, but it's like shin guards and gloves. Like, so I was sponsored from them, and like even with that, like they sent me a rash guard, which is like a T-shirt basically,
Mm-hmm.
gloves, shin guards, and something else. But they didn't sell me shorts. So I sent pictures of them, like me walking on a treadmill with nothing on except what they sent me. So no pants, no. And they were like, we can't post that, but please tag us in everything you do. So we did that, but like that was part of the building my brand, like edgy, out front. I still say what I want for the most part. It's very low filter for me, but that built my brand, and because that created a barrier between me and certain people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to work with you because there's enough people who are out there who are similar to me that you're going to have raving fans.
Yep.
You're going to have people that, and that's where I think drawing the line in the sand, that's what Sean Whalen talked about is, speak your truth. You're going to repel people, but the people who you attract, they're going to be raving fans. They're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to buy I Hate Johnny Buck sticker and put it in my car. Like I'm going to wear a t-shirt. Like I got people asking about them still, man. I messed my Spotify account or Shopify account got messed up. I don't run it anymore. But like, with all that, like the people you build are going to be extremely loyal. But I think where I made a big mistake in the beginning was only talking about what I think people should hear, not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my good friends, he goes, man, it was one of the Charlotte Hall of Fame events. I was down there walking around and did a Facebook Live. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I have no clue. Like this and that. And my coach, a good friend of mine from college, goes, dude, thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't going to call you out, but he goes, that's the first truth you said in a while.
Mm.
And, but, so that's going to attract people. It's just speaking your truth, the good, the bad, whatever you believe. Like, you're not the only unicorn out there who believes exactly what you believe. Right. So when you attract those people, that's going to be your people. And you don't want to work with people who don't like you. Like, it makes a big difference.
Well, I think like I've learned that like I was on, like it wasn't like I wasn't being myself for a while on social media, but like when you get the dopamine rush from like all the social media stuff, you're trying to figure out like, hey, how can I create content that everyone is going to like? And so it's not that you're not like saying the truth or you're not doing that, but like you're not saying what you want to say. And so like that's what I've gotten better at, just being like straight to the freaking point on a lot of the stuff, getting a lot more focused on like who I'm trying to talk to with each piece of content, and knowing that like the numbers will not always go in my favor, but the impact or the leads or the conversation or the business will grow because it's going to connect to the right people. And that's where I think like so many people get lost in this, right? Where they're like, I want everyone to like me. And it sucks for a while when you're like, wow, okay, like I know people don't like me. And when it first happens, it like hits you upside the head and you're like, okay, why am I even doing this? But once you really get over that initial hump, you start to see like, okay, I made the right choice. And there's nothing better than like putting out what you want and then hearing the feedback that like people are like, okay, thank goodness you said something, because like I needed to hear that, or now I want to work with you.
Yeah. And you know, because I think the dopamine crash or just absence of dopamine when you're getting 6 likes on your post, or like comments,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, that sucks. But like where I've found, and I screenshot them. I have a physical box over there of handwritten notes that I have from people, and I have screenshots from people. But hey, man, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be alive. If you didn't, hey, this really changed my life. So I saved those because there are days I'm like, I don't want to post.
Yeah.
I just don't care. My life is in the dumps. And I look at that, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody needs to hear that today.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And it doesn't always have to be like, hey, look at my Lambo. Hey, look at my new watch. Hey, dude, I don't want to do this today.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to do this. I don't want to get my cold plunge. I don't want to lift weights.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything.
It's again, it's one of those things that like I think society and social media and the wrong people have basically tried to mainstream that, hey, what you see on social media is like somewhat realistic. And like there is, but like there's a lot more 99% of the stuff that like people don't share and don't see, which is refreshing to see when we share it, right? And other people see it. Like there's only so many people that like I can actually trust now after like seeing them on social media and then behind the scenes going, wow, okay, you are not who, and your business is not what you said it is.
Yeah. Well, and I think, yeah, we're so concerned. This is like I call it the American nightmare, and it's not business related per se, but the American nightmare is you go to school for 12 years, and then you go to school for 4 more years, and then you start your life $125,000 in debt in a career you don't like. Then you go work for 60, however many years that is, so 40 some years, and then you die at 72 with a white picket fence, 2.5 kids, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrible. So I'm more concerned. I'm going to buy a BMW or whatever to compete with that guy. I don't even give a shit about it. And
Yeah.
and I think a lot of the times we need that validation. And it's a lot of it's just psychological work, which this podcast can't dive in deep enough to. But like, it's just like what's important to you? What's important to you? And like, I think from a business standpoint, from a marketing or branding standpoint, talking about what actually matters to you makes a difference.
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 things that are important to me. I'm a husband. I'm a leader, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an athlete. And currently, at this point in time, I would probably say entrepreneur is up front right now because it's a new phase. So entrepreneur, husband, leader, athlete. Like there'll be days I have to miss a lift day. I'll just walk back and forth to my house for 30, 40 minutes to get to my workout in because the other things are priorities. But like, if you have those four things that you're talking about, honestly, like, hey, dude, this is hard for me. It makes things a lot easier. So like, I don't chase the American nightmare. I don't care. Like, it's not fulfilling to me. So talking about things that are important is going to really help people align with you. Like, I like jujitsu. I like hunting. I don't have time for it. I like guns. Like America. I think America's pretty cool. My wife. I got chickens. They're cool. I got a dog. Like, I talk about those things on top of it. But, not having to chase that thing, like, don't worry about appealing to the masses because everybody's going to talk about the white picket fence. Everybody's going to talk about the thing, what makes you special? What makes you you? And it's probably something nerdy. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's a big part of the branding that people aren't understanding. And then, like, this is a really good analogy for personal branding. So you like vanilla ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Is it your favorite ice cream?
No, but it's
Okay,
good.
but you'll eat it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your favorite ice cream?
Usually either chocolate chip or cookie dough.
Yeah, see, my man. All right. So for me, it's Moose Tracks and any other ice cream on earth. But I'm a fat kid strapped in my body.
Yeah.
But like, I've never, and it's from the market table. I've never seen anybody, dude, I love vanilla ice cream. It is the best, right? But I've seen people really, really excited about, cookie dough or really, really excited about Moose Tracks. They will argue with you about it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I look at my branding. I'm like, listen, I'm not vanilla. But any spice of life, am I vanilla, man? So, why would my marketing be that? So why am I branding that way? No, they Moose Tracks is the absolute best ice cream there is. Now there are other options, but this is the best, and that's how I operate my branding. Is like, oh, this is what I believe wholeheartedly. Like,
Yeah.
it may change. Like, I'll have mint chocolate chip, messing my teeth up. I don't like it, but like, there's pros and cons. I don't think being down the midline for branding makes any sense because you're gonna have raving fans, and then vanilla has no raving fans ever.
Yeah. It's the middle of the pack. Like, it's not the worst, it's not the best, but nobody really cares. That's essentially what it is.
It's that Neapolitan ice cream. It's always like the last one. Like, the chocolate's gone, the strawberry's gone. Like, oh god, I gotta eat vanilla.
That's awesome, man. Well, Johnny, what are you most excited about moving forward? Whether it's your branding stuff, whether it's the new business, whether it's just like the culmination of everything. Like, what's this next season like got you most excited about?
Yeah, it's just doing something new, man. I can run the gym with my eyes closed. A few headaches here and there, which it's part of it. But I really look forward to this new season. It gives me another market to get into. Like, I really do enjoy working with people. It's hard to work with people sometimes. But like over the past year or 2 years, I've really, working with WinRate and you guys is like, I understand, like, I have to meet you where you're at. And my personal growth has been unbelievable. Like, I don't recognize who I was 2 years ago. But like understanding where people are, meeting where they're at, becoming a better leader. And just, I really, this is going to give me more options to get into different markets, to work with different people. So I told my wife, I was like, man, so one of my members, EJ, or former members, EJ, he couldn't come to the gym because he's doing, he's running his business. I'm like, so I called him. I'm like, hey, man, you want to help me on this project? Yes. So I'm super excited to work with my friends again. It's always been that way. Leveling each other up, helping each other, expanding, meeting new people. Obviously the financial side as well. Like, one of these jobs, a single not small, but decent sized job, I'll make more in a week than I will in a month in a gym. It's just, there's a lot higher margins, which is, I'm not going to lie and say it's not exciting, but so I was like, I could probably easily have $60,000 on bids by the end of the month. Well, in the next month now. So,
Amazing.
that's exciting, man.
Yeah, dude, that's super exciting. I'm excited for you. It's been amazing. I've been watching, like, I remember when you first made the post and we were talking, hey, I'm looking to potentially buy a existing company, maybe partner with, like, so I've just kind of watched this from a distance, kind of come full circle and see you just go take the reins and go start on your own. I'm super excited to kind of see this next phase for you, man. And appreciate your time. I know you're a super busy dude. This has been an awesome episode. I know a lot of people are going to hear something you said, whether it was about personal branding, whether it was about like setting the standard and just being willing to be yourself and different in the marketplace, or taking your existing skill set and going disrupting a new industry and a lot of the other stuff that we talked about. I know it's going to be super valuable. Where can people stay connected with you online? We'll put all that stuff in the show notes.
I actually have just johnnybuck.com, not IHateJohnnyBuck.com. So we have that. I've gotten it set up to go high level. I've not done anything with it yet, but I have it up. There is a form in there. Put your email in there. Eventually I'll get back to you on building that out. Again, it's not, like I said, I moved leader back. Like, I'm a lead by example. I'm a lead by example right now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to be holding your hand. I just don't have the time and capacity. I tried, but I just don't. So get on that mail list. But Instagram at Johnny Buck 2. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me is Instagram and then Facebook as well. So.
Love it, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on. It was great chatting with you as always, and looking forward to seeing you again here soon, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you again to the audience for watching or listening today's episode, and thank you to our title sponsor, Go High Level. Without them, we aren't able to produce the quality of content or have amazing guests on like Johnny that we did today, and you even heard from Johnny. He's using Go High Level. Check out a free and extended 30-day trial with tons of Builders of Authority and personal branding bonuses in the show notes. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review as well. We're making a big push for reviews, and it definitely helps move the needle. And remember, authority isn't built overnight. It's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.